The Bookshelf with Ryan Tubridy is brought to you by Eason, Ireland's favourite bookseller. Eason have a rich heritage of bookselling since 1886, and it's probably where you got your first ever book, or maybe your last one, and indeed, hopefully, your next one after you listen to this episode of our podcast. And stay listening for our Ryan Recommends slot, my weekly recommendation, where I'll discuss a book I've read recently that I think you'll really enjoy too. As ever, all the books we discuss on this episode of our podcast are available now in your local Eason store, or order online from easons.com before 6 p.m. for same-day dispatch with free delivery when you spend over a tenner. Eason, be inspired. You're very welcome to the Bookshelf with me, Ryan Tubridy. We have a proper legend with us today. She's a double gold Olympic medalist. She is a national hero. She is an inspiration to a lot of people, including myself. I mean that. Known for her fierce determination. She has an unstoppable spirit. These are things that you think, yeah, but no, it's true in this case. Honestly, she makes Ireland proud on the world stage. She makes us proud to be Irish. Today we're going to discover a new side to her. We're going to talk to her about the book from her childhood, maybe, if she has one. We're going to talk about the book that changed her life, if she has a life. We're going to talk about the book that made her cry, if she's capable of emotion. Kellie Harrington.
How's it going, Ryan? How are you?
I'm really good. It's good to see you.
Very good to see you.
You're always quick to laugh, and I don't know whether it's because we always have a good laugh together, or whether you just laugh politely out of good manners.
You're like, you should have been a comedian. You know, you always make me laugh, so that's why. Okay,
well, look, let's get down to business. First of all, you're in good shape. You have 2 gold medals in the bag. And how would you describe your state of mind these days? Are you okay? Are you coming down? Are you going up? What's happening in your world?
I am brand new shampoo. I never really went up. Like, I won the medals, and I won the medal, and then it's kind of, normally it's been after I win anything or I lose, it's like, what's next? But like, there is no what's next now. It's kind of like, take a break, chill out. And I'm just having a few months off to figure out who I am without training as intense every day. And then after Christmas, I'll decide what I'm going to do. Like,
what a strange place that must be to ask the question that you've been asking all your life, what next, and quickly coming up with an answer. This is probably the first time in decades that you don't know the answer to the question. In some ways.
It is like, but it's, I knew it was coming, you know, so it's like, and I knew I wasn't going to know the answer to it when it did come. So I've been prepared for that, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying not having to get up and train every day, but what I'm trying to figure out is, how do normal people train? How do normal people go from their day to day exercise? Like, whereas if I'm addicted to training and I'm training 3 times a day. I can't do that anymore, like, because I don't need to do it anymore, so I shouldn't do it anymore. So it's like trying to find how much is enough and how much is too much. Like, so I might be at the end of, I'm doing too little actually at the moment, you know. So but I am enjoying it, and I think that's what it's all about, really. A lot of people retire from sport, and like me, they don't really know what they're doing straight away, but they kind of suffer from it a bit. But I'm not suffering from it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying sitting on the couch. I'm enjoying eating everything. And if I decide I want to go somewhere and meet someone or do something, then I can get up and do it, really, you know. Yeah. Now, it might be a different story come January when like, it's like, all right, I've done that since August last year. I need to start like doing something.
What would you like to do? What would you like to be when you grow up?
This question has come at me loads of times. I bet. Like, you know, like, and this is totally mad and bizarre, but you know, Paul O'Grady's show, it used, like, the
late Paul O'Grady,
God rest him, For the Love of Dogs. Yeah. I would love to do something like that.
It's perfect.
I'd love to do it.
It's perfect for you.
Because sometimes I prefer animals than I do humans. I'd love to do that.
Okay, let's make an episode of it. What's happening? You come on, you say, hello, I'm Kellie Harrington. You might remember me from such medals as this and that. But actually, the real love of my life, has always been, apart from my wife, these animals. I have several.
Thank God you said that, right?
I just got that in quickly. Sorry, Mandy. Keeping everyone sweet here, Kelly. But it's been animals. And you go around to kind of rescue homes and places with.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you'd have one, like in Ireland, it's the DSPCA and other animal shelters. But you'd pick one and you'd go in, and there'd be a couple of dogs there, and it's trying to find them homes, really.
Yeah.
Do you know?
What a nice idea. That's a good idea. That's one of your things that you have in your head. You'd love to do a TV show like that.
And I remember I remember as a kid, and I could be wrong now, but the Blue Cross was there a Blue Cross? Like, it was like a veterinary program. No, not veterinary, but I'd just love to do something like that involved with animals. Like, that's something that I'd love to do. And I don't know whether I'm absolutely, well, I do know that I'm mad, but I think people might actually watch that because people love their animals. Like,
they really do. They do.
You know?
And also they love you. I mean, and that's not Plumos. You're very relatable for whatever reason. You're very authentic. And I know you behind the scenes a little bit. And I love that you're very sassy. But you are. Like, that sounds pejorative, but actually...
That's a nice way of saying you're off the scales.
No, do you know what I'm saying is that you don't suffer fools. Like, you're just not into people acting a maggot and just I don't know, where is that from?
Sometimes I do wonder about myself because I am very, like, I'm honest and I just don't take BS off people. And if we say we're going to do something, we're doing it. You know, there's no hanging around and waiting to do things. And I see, well, a lot of the time I don't, like, but I see people for what they are, you know, and I just don't tolerate any crap. That's it. And I'm straight down, like, that's it. I'm either with you or I'm not. Like, I'm not against people, but I'm either with you or I'm not.
Yeah.
And they'll know from the off, and I'll know from the off whether it's gone, whatever we're doing, I'm going to go for it or not. Like, you know,
because you have, you know, these gold medals and this achievement, and these achievements in your life. You'd have a lot of hucksters and hustlers, and I'd say a lot of creatures sniffing around looking for a piece of the action. That sounds very cynical. Is it true?
It's not. Do you know, to be honest with you, because a lot of people say that, you know, the bandwagoners will jump on and this, that and the other. Like, they haven't, because I wouldn't allow it to happen.
Okay, they can't get through the gate.
They can't get through the gate. And I also think people know, don't even try it with her because, you know, she just won't have a bar of it. Like, I have a look that if I'm not interested and I'm not, like, playing ball, someone just look at me and go, Jesus, don't even go near her. Like, you know what I mean?
Hit the reverse button.
That's it, like, you know, and they know. So I think people know that, but they just, the bandwagoners don't come near me because they know, like.
We've spoken in previous interviews about your childhood, and it was difficult along the way, and we don't need to go over that territory, to be honest with you. That's not what this show's about. But what would you say your life lessons were from you being a kid from the age of 0 to 10? What class of a kid were you?
I was good. Like, I was a good kid from 0 to 10. I was a great kid. I'd still buy and sell you, you know, like, but
from the get-go.
From the get-go, yeah. Like, I was a good kid. And
where was that from? Was that from, you know, the folks, or was that from school, or where did you get that buy and sell you thing? I just think
it's an inner city thing, to be honest with you. I think it's like, you know,
survival.
Yeah, like, and it's your surroundings, like, you know, it's who you're surrounded by, you know, and it's kind of like that's the way it is. Like, buy and sell, and and just I've always been like, I'm still like that. By the way, I haven't changed. I'd still buy and sell you.
when you were invited to come on the show here, and you know it's called The Bookshelf. I try to explain to people it's not just for people who like books, it's just for people who like stories. Yeah. Wherever they come from. How did you feel when you were invited on? Did you have kind of like, oh God, please no? I mean we get on, right? We're pals.
Because I really wanted to come on, like.
Yeah, and I was desperate for you to come on. So,
you know, and like, I'm glad I'm here, and I was looking forward to it. But as it was getting closer, I was like, oh God, like, I don't, like, I do read. So, like, I keep saying I don't read, but I actually do read. But I have a problem when I read something, I can't remember it. Like, and I don't know why. I just cannot remember it. It's mad. Like, and I might get like 6 chapters in and not look at the book for about a week, and then I'm like,
start again.
Sure, I can't remember, and then I have to go back to the first chapter. Like, and like, I'll never read a whole book like in a day or anything like that. So I only get a couple of chapters in, and then I forget it again. So it's like.
So let me get to handle this. When you're reading, because this happens to everyone, when you're reading, sometimes do you find that you're thinking about what you want from the shop and where or what I'm going to do later on? Is it that, or is it going in and then just going out?
It's literally going in and going out. Like, now, it's not all books. Like, it's just some, but it's just I don't know why I find it so hard. But then the more I think about it, like, I was awful in school. Like, I couldn't remember anything. So the more, because I've been thinking about it in the last few days and stuff, like, and I'm thinking maybe that was a part of why I didn't do well in school. It's because I couldn't remember, like, I can't remember anything. Now, I'm also bad with, like, if I put my keys down or my phone down, I'm like, where'd I put them? Like, I just have a bad memory, like, and it's not from getting punched in the head, because people will be like, she's punch drunk, you know, like, that's what people are going to think straight away, like, oh, it's too many digs. But it's not. Like, it's just
from childhood, like, it's from the get-go. Back to that thing, you were buy in, sell you, and nothing's going in.
But it's mad. Like, if Mary had an affair up the road, I'll remember that for years. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, the stuff that you remember. Like, stuff that I don't need to remember, I remember. Like, and it's just, I don't know, I have a weird way of working. Like, but
so when you were in school, in primary school and stuff like that, were there any books or authors, anything jumping out from memory? Because we do ask about the book from your childhood. Did you pick one, or did you decide to leave it?
I didn't.
Leave it blank.
I left it blank because I can't really remember. And
did you have a teacher that you loved?
I had a couple of teachers that I loved. I had it in primary school. I had Miss Ruan and Miss Reid. I remember them.
Tell me about them.
And then Miss Hines as well was like, I loved primary school. It was the favourite part of, like, me schooling, really. It was primary school. I used to love going in the morning. Again, I'm a foodie, like, straight away. I'm like the Breakfast Club. That's what got me out of bed in the morning.
Tell everyone what the Breakfast Club was.
So the Breakfast Club, I think they have it in most schools
They're still
now.
going, yeah.
You'd go in the morning before school started, and you'd get a bowl of Rice Krispies and 2 slices of toast and an orange juice. I'd be in there from start to finish, and they'd be like, one more slice of toast. And they'd be like, do you not get fed at home? I do, but I just love the toast here. Like, but that was like, I've good memories of primary school.
So why did you mention those 3 teachers? You mentioned 3 women.
The only 3 I can remember.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me, and then they took me aside and said, this is a boxing glove, Kellie.
No, I'm only joking. No, because Miss Hines I actually never had Miss Hines as a teacher, but she was a teacher in the school, and she was just, her presence was always smiling and happy when she was going around the school. And I if I'm correct, I think she became the school principal, and I think it might have been when I was gone, and I just remember it being so nice, and I just like nice people. What
people say now, she's got a great energy, but she obviously had one of those people, even though she didn't teach you, but she was just a good egg.
I only met her there 3 years ago. I was actually.
You remember that?
Yeah, and it was so strange, because when I bumped into her, I was like, looking at her, and I was like, oh my God, like, I know your face. Where do I know you from? And then we were just chatting, and it was mad. Like, it was lovely to bump into her after all those years. Like, it's 20 odd years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And now she's looking at you going, you did all right.
Yeah. Because people probably didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah. I wonder what, the other 2 teachers, before we leave primary school, they also had a certain presence in your life. Yeah. Was it kindness or education or?
Like, Miss Reid was really, she was really kind and sweet. And she just had a real maternal side to her, And then Miss Ruan, now maybe I'm totally like making this up in my own little head, like, but this is what I felt like, you know. Miss Ruan, I felt like she was obviously kind as well, but I felt like she had a real, like you wouldn't mess with her, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
But like, she's like, if she's listening, she's probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But like someone that I looked up to, do you know, like, because she was a strong woman, do you know. That's what I remember.
That's great. And she was nice with it, though. She wasn't strong.
No.
She was good strong.
I don't think I've ever had any mean teachers. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Don't think I have.
Nice
ever.
way to have it. Nice. Going into your teenage years, what do we call those? Wild years?
The mad years.
Yeah.
The mad years.
Give us the headlines of that, and then we'll try and have a look at that. Mad years because?
Mad years because I was off the scale, basically.
Doing what?
Doing absolutely everything that a child of 13 years of age shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, it was young, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very young. Like, it was young, and I see kids doing that now, and I'm like, oh, I just wish I could do something to try and help them, you know. So that's also something that I'd love to do, is to try and help someone.
Community activism.
That's it. Yeah.
So the wild years were there. Where did school come into that?
I went to secondary, and I only got to second year.
Yeah.
In secondary, and again, like, I don't know whether that was because I was wild or just because I literally couldn't take anything in. I couldn't, like, I couldn't, nothing. Like, I wasn't a sponge. I wasn't absorbing anything.
You were a sieve.
Yeah, that's it. Everything. I was like a goldfish. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like literally like
Finding
everything
Kellie.
falling through. That was it. Like, I'm telling you now.
I can see the film. Or maybe we have your autobiography before we even know it. Another one. But I say that. Yeah, I think that in the modern age, people would probably diagnose that, wouldn't they? They'd say, you have something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
think
is.
so, yeah. I do think so, because it's basically a learning difficulty, and I
wonder if you had been diagnosed, like, let's play what if for a moment, if you'd been diagnosed as having something, some class of neurodivergence, and let's just imagine for a moment that they took you in and said, we think we can fix this, quote unquote, or help this, and suddenly you became a schoolgoer and a reader or whatever, and the boxing door slid by because there may have been reason for you not being the reader or the. Does that make sense? Have you thought about this before? Or?
No, I always think of stuff like that, because I actually think school is not for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and I think like learning comes in all different forms, really, doesn't it? You know, like visual and physical and stuff like that. I'm more of a physical learner, like, and if I see something physically, I learn, but put it on a piece of paper, I can't. Like, it just doesn't go into my brain that way. I don't know why, but I don't think that school is for everybody. But there is something else other than school. It's not just school's not for me and goodbye. Like, you know, you have to find what's for you. So when I was out of school in second year, I found Youth Reach.
Yeah. And
Youth Reach was pretty much physical and hands-on, and like they done cookery classes, and then you do like CSPE, you do English and you do maths and stuff like that. But it was a different way of learning. I don't know how, like, I don't know, it was more relaxed as well in there. Like, it wasn't, the classes weren't as big, and
just suited your brain.
That's it. It just suited me. Like, and then you'd go out once a week, hiking or something, you know. So it was fun. Like, I enjoyed going there. We'd make a fry for the whole Youth Reach on a Friday and stuff. Like, everything was fun. It was a fun way of learning for me, and that's like, I done my junior cert there.
Yeah, and
then I went on, and they helped me get in. They helped me get into the army, and then I left the army. They also helped me get into Cláiste College of Further Education.
Yeah.
And I done sports and leisure management out there, and I went on to work in a gym and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so
You found your road.
I felt,
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
God, aren't those people amazing? I mean, to their credit, because
They really are.
They're dealing with people who like yourself, who're just like, I'm not really into. I don't know what I'm into, and they're just going like, we'll guide you. Just make the fry, or let's go hiking.
We don't just go in there and do what we're told. We're messers, like we're proper messers, like
even there,
like we're hard to handle, like and they can do it. Like they know what they're doing. Like they have experience with it, like, and they're able to help you help yourself and help you find yourself. Like, and they don't get enough credit, I don't think, for what they actually do. And like, it's crazy because I'm 35 in next December, and like, so from the time I was 16, I started to be good, right?
Okay.
But like, that's half my life ago. But I still feel like I think about how I was as that child. I still think about that all the time, and about like everyone should look after their parents anyways, I think, but I still feel like every time I think about how much of a little brat I was, I want to look after me dad, even me ma and dad, even more, because they deserve it. Like they never gave up on me, and I just want to look after them for that, like, and it was a hard time for them. Like they also had 3 boys to look after as well. Thank God they were all okay, like I was the only one that was the messer of them all, like, and it's mad because people don't think that. People just see Olympics, worlds, all this kind of stuff, and they think that you've
golden girl.
That's it, like, and like, yeah, I have a story before that, and I have a story throughout that, and I have a next story. Like, life is just one big journey, isn't it? Like,
oh well, I mean, I find myself saying, particularly of late, life is not linear. You think it's just going one way, and then God knows, it gets derailed, and you were derailed, if you like, for some of your teenage years. Your folks were probably within their rights to say, you just get out of here. You're a pain in the ass. Like, just forget about it. But they stood by you. Yeah. Day in, day out. And
they can't get rid of me now, like, that's the thing.
What is it? And is that born out of guilt or love?
No, love. Of
course it's love.
I absolutely, like, I think it does Mandy's head in, like, how much I just love being around my ma and dad. And I don't know, like, I'll ring my ma every day just and say, "What story? How's things?" She'll be like, nothing's changed. I'm like, all right, I'll see you later, and that's it. Do you know what I mean?
It's
like,
enough.
just that's enough. Like, and just I don't know. I think most people, I don't. Most women probably do it anyways. You know. But
what does that give you? That 30-second phone call?
Just to know that they're all right. Like, and there's nothing that I can do for them. Like, like if there was ever anything, she'd tell me. Like.
So when you won the first of your 2 gold medals in the Olympics, who did your first thoughts run to when you lifted your glove in the air and realised it was you'd done it? You'd one of the greatest achievements of a sports person on the planet Earth. It's
like straight away, it's crazy because like I take myself back to that child again, like that mad thing, like, and I'm like, look at me now, like, imagine, like, I know how proud my ma and dad are of me, and it's just like I can't, like, well, I can't. It's hard to believe that someone was there and now they're here, and I'm just like, I know how proud they are of me, and I just can't wait to show them the medal, like, and show Mandy and my me actual family as well, like, of like Joel, Aaron, Christopher, my mum, my dad, and Mandy, to show them, like, because they're the ones who have been there my whole life, like, like, they never give up on me, and they've never, like, even as I'm older, like, they never turn their back on you with anything. Like, they're always there to pick up the pieces, like, always.
Let's look at the second book we've asked you to pick today, which is we'll go with the book that made you cry. We've all seen you crying. Everyone in Ireland has seen you cry because of the emotion. I think, to me, it's if when the Irish flag appears, I think that really sets you off, because I know how much you love Ireland. Is that something that I'm just trying to figure out? When do you get emotional? When do you cry? What makes you cry?
It's it is when the flag is lifted for your country, and because like a lot of the time you're training and you're on your own, nobody sees how hard you train, and then you're in the stadium like, and you're fighting day after day after day, and you don't know what's going on at home. Well, I don't, because I don't go onto social media or anything like that.
You mean the fuss and the excitement? Yeah.
But you know there is a fuss and excitement, but you don't know to what extent, And after, like, especially in Tokyo, I had no clue like what was happening at home. And it was only when I looked at it then when I got home, I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect all of this. Like, and when you're on the podium and your flag is going up and your national anthem is being played, it is, every emotion just comes into your head, and like you're like, you feel like you're carrying your nation with you at that moment. It is the most unreal feeling I've ever experienced, and just looking at the flag going up, and then it's there, and then you're like, our flag, our tiny little nation is the number one with all those other big nations beside it, like, and we're number one. We're the highest flag up there, and that's your country. Like, it's like, wow, I cannot get over the feeling of happiness, joy, and a bag of mixed emotions. It's just unreal, and I'm probably never going to feel that again. It's mad, and there's not many people who get to feel it. Maybe
Twice.
once, but twice.
Wow.
Like, it's a bit surreal, and it can be a bit overwhelming as well, because it's just like, oh my God, like, this is actually happening. When it happened once, I genuinely, like, the last 3 years have been very, very difficult. So I didn't know, like, I just wanted to get out there and perform. I wasn't thinking of medals or anything like that. So you're on the podium for the second time, and it's nearly like I actually don't believe it. Like, you're like, it's a fluke. I always think like something's happened. Like this is weird. Like, how am I here again? Like, you know what I mean? How am I here again? But then when I take myself away from it and everything's quieting down, I realise I'm there because I work hard.
Exactly.
I have
earned it,
yeah. And I do what other people won't do.
Yeah.
Can't
eat that, can't go there, have to train here. You can't, have
and
no great life
as well. I literally like if there's a training plan in place, and I think I don't need that at this time. I actually need this. I've structured a lot of my own training sessions in the run up to the Olympics and stuff like that. Not a lot of athletes do that. I do, because I know what I need. So it's like I'm difficult because I know what I want, I know what I need, and I know what I need to get to where I want to be. That's the type of difficult that I am. But then when you stand up on that podium and all those people who you have their head melted, they see that, they're like,
that's what that was for.
This is why she is who she is.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
So, not to tell, the gold medals I'm looking at, I can hardly see you because they're gleaming. Put on my sunglasses. Look, these two beautiful medals, and you've let us hold them and take pictures with them, and there's something really otherworldly about an Olympic gold medal, I have to say. Even having them here today, it's like they're another presence in the room.
Yeah, they're special.
Really are.
They are special.
They are. People have to go onto YouTube to watch this bit of the interview where you can see them there between myself and Kellie, and they really are special. The way you described that gave me goosebumps. It really did. Carrying the nation on your shoulders. Holy smoke.
That's what it does feel like.
Pressure. But what a beautiful release when it comes good. You just said something interesting there. You said the last 3 years were difficult. Do you want to tell me about that? Or
just so, like, when you get to the top of a mountain and you're there and you have to come down from that mountain, and then you want to get to the top again, and there's loads of people don't want you to get to the top. There's loads of people who want to get to the top before you, or you're fighting for that first place at the top, you know.
Yeah.
So that's in a boxing sense with all my competitors. So I've been the target on the back in a boxing sense, like, so it's been really hard to stay there. And I suppose in the last few months, personal life as well. So you're trying to stay the number one, and you also have a personal life because people think you're just this athlete and you don't do anything else other than box. But it's also not a lie, because that is all you do. But you have a personal life. Like, I have a family, I have a wife, I have dogs, I have a mortgage. You know, like, you have a personal life, like, and stuff happens, you know, and stuff happened in the last 3 years, and it was hard, and particularly from last December on. Like, there was times like we lost Mandy's father in December, and then we lost the dog in January, and I thought, like, I actually at that stage I thought, if I could give this spot up to another Irish girl, she can have it. I wouldn't give it back to the IOC and then give another country the spot, but I would give it to another Irish person if that could happen. And I asked, and they told me it couldn't happen, but I think they may have just said that just because they really wanted me to go. Like, and I'm glad that they did say it. But that's where I was at. Like,
You were thinking of giving it all up.
I was thinking of giving it up. I was thinking there's so much more to life than boxing. There's so much more. I need to live life, like, because at that stage everything was happening, and I was thinking anything can happen now, you know, like, and you need to just live life. That's the way I was feeling. And I'd gone to competitions and I'd lost, and I wasn't in the zone. And I know when I'm in the zone,
Sure.
like, when I'm in the zone, no one gets in, like, and I wasn't in the zone, and I was a bit all over the place, and I'd lost the fight. And I didn't lose the fight because I wasn't robbed, I wasn't anything. I lost the fight because I was beat on that day by someone who was on their game, and I wasn't, you know. And I was over in Italy, and I was at a training camp, and I had the Brazilian who I fought in the final of Tokyo. She was outside the ring, and I had the Colombian who was the world silver medalist. So the Brazilian is the gold, she's the silver. They're standing outside the ring and they're watching me spar another Colombian 57 kilo. And I done 4 rounds, and I never do 4 rounds, I just do 3. But I wasn't in my zone, and I was like, right, I'll do the 4. And the 4th round, I got the head pummeled at me in the 4th round, like, and these are all outside the ring looking at me, you know, and they're all cheering and what have you. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. So I really wasn't in a good place. But coming then down to the pre-camp for the Olympics, I started to be like, well, you know what, you're here, you know what I mean? You're after getting this far. Let's just switch off now and let's just see what happens, you know, like, and it wasn't about going out there and getting medals or anything. It was just about going out there, trying to perform and trying to take myself back into the nobody gets in zone, because I love that zone. I love that. Like, I love being able to turn around and go to someone, no, I'm not doing that because I'm training. And, you know, like, I love to have an excuse, like, you know what I mean? Like, to not do stuff, like, and that's the zone that I love to be in. And I was in it when I was over in Germany at the camp, the pre-camp, and right through into the Olympics. And, you know, I had teammates saying to me and all, like, are you ever going to come out of the building? Like, you know, are you going to ever open up your shutters? Because they had shutters on the windows. And I'm like, well, no, because I'm in the zone. And I keep the shutters down to keep the sun out, so my room stays cool, so I can sleep proper at night. And if I need to have a nap during the day, I can sleep during the day. I don't like putting the aircon on because I don't know what type of air is coming in. That's it, like, you know. And regards to walking around and going around taking selfies with people, that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to do a job, and that's it, you know, like. Yeah. And I've gone off on a little tangent.
No, you haven't. Do you know what? As you're talking, I'm laughing because I'm trying to make it relatable to someone like myself going, and I've never obviously done any sport. I retired from sport at the age of 7. I think...
I love it. I was like, what?
I just decided this isn't for me. Where's the library? But But I was doing quite well in my career at the top of my game, if you like, doing the late show, which I just got to the point where I said, I'm tired now.
Yeah.
And the COVID thing was exhausting. And I said, I'm out. I left it a year earlier than I expected to. But I'm just chiming with what you said about being in the zone. And I was in the zone for 14, pretty much nearly 19 years, live every weekend. And when it stopped, I realized, a bit like you're saying there, I realized that zone was a nice place to be, but it was also a bit of an escape tank from reality.
Yeah.
Because you were able to say, can't go to that wedding, can't go to that party, I've got to do this, I got to do this because I've got that. And then when it stopped, I found myself going, oh, there's a whole, it's like leaving.
It's mad. It's
an
like
institution.
stepping into another world. Like,
and you become a different person and you kind of see things very differently.
Yeah.
It's kind of slightly more interesting. But it was great while it lasted.
Yeah.
You like being in the zone.
I love
but
being
it's
in
nice
the zone.
being out of the zone.
It's nice being out because in that zone, pressure is there.
Constant.
Constant.
And you kind of
pressure.
feed off it.
Yeah, you feed off it.
You buzz off it.
You buzz off it, but it can also wear you down. It can also wear you out.
It also can be a bit makey-uppy.
That's it, like, so it's like, right, I'm done. Like, I can't, like, I love when you're in the changing room before a fight, like I'm really I've a few songs, as you can tell.
Yeah, the rings, the Lord of the Rings over here. Yeah,
but in that instant, I am in a different zone.
You're ready,
and it's just like that's an outer body experience.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't even know if other boxers are in that type of zone because it's like I am walking around there. And I do not care who's looking at me being the maddest version of myself. Like, I'm being so confident in what I do. Like, like I'm walking around and I'm singing the lyrics, but I'm talking to them and I'm like, I'm unstoppable. I'm a force now. Like, and I'm walking around and I don't care who's looking at me because I just know this is what I do. And I'm going to go out there and do it. Like,
I don't know if we've talked about books today, but I'm certainly enjoying. But you're some storyteller for somebody who doesn't read a lot of books. I'm telling you what, that's why I love this program, and guests like you are saying, yeah, I'll talk about books if you want, but who needs them when you've got stories that you're giving? So the book that made you cry, do you have one, or do you want to talk about one? Or
I have like there's two books. So there's my own book, and then there's Martha Long. He sold me for a packet of cigarettes.
Yeah, I remember those books. There's a couple of them. Yeah.
So I actually don't even know how I came across the Martha Long book, but do you know what I think? Why I think this has stayed in my head and why I remember is because it's raw in the way I speak.
Yeah.
Do you know, like it's inner city Dublin. Do you know, like, so I think that, and I enjoyed reading it because I'm like, oh my God, like she sounds like me.
You spoke the language fluently.
Do you know what I mean? Thank God, like I didn't live the life that she's lived.
Yeah. What was her life?
Like it was dreadful. Like there was a lot of abuse and like she was out robbing all the time to try. Like, and the man and dad were like, well, it wasn't her dad, it was her stepdad. Mm-hmm. They were sending her out like basically to rob like butter, like pounds of butter and stuff, and she was doing it all the time and she was selling it, and then they take the money off her and they get their cigarettes and their drink and their bread and stuff like that. And Martha probably wouldn't even get some bread and a bit of butter, like there was a lot of the times where she wouldn't have any food and stuff. It's just a really, really sad story, and it just, like, I just found myself not wanting to put the book down when I was reading it, like, and it's just mad because I'm like, I can't believe that shit like this happened. Do you know, like, and it did, like, and I'm sure it's still happening.
Probably is, isn't it? Just in a modern way. Yeah. You were willing her along the whole time, going, "Come on, you can get out of here."
And I've always said, I just, like, I don't know. I think if I ever met Martha Long, I don't know if I'd ever let go of her. Like, just want to hug her. Like, that's
had an impact.
Yeah. Like, and I just, like, you'd be crying throughout it, reading bits of it. You're like, oh my God, like, what a childhood she endured. Like,
the world can be so cruel.
Can be.
Yeah, and particularly kids.
Yeah.
No one wants to see kids being...
No. And then my own book as well then.
Kellie.
That like, made me cry because obviously I was sitting down with Roddy and you're talking.
Roddy Doyle, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved sitting down with Roddy, but it was like counselling sessions, you know, like and like I'd be bawling 1 minute and I'd be laughing the next minute, and it's just like it was mad, like. But you're reliving everything over again, so that made me cry.
Was that cathartic for you? Was it useful? Did you kind of come out of it feeling a bit lighter?
I did, yeah. I came out of it feeling lighter, but I also was worried. I was like, oh my God, like that's like I'm literally given there's stuff in that like I didn't give everything, like, but like there's like I'm given a lot, you know. So I was worried like what way people would look at me, you know, like. But I don't. For me, like if I was like reading something and you see someone coming through a life, and
you'd
then
respect them more, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Have you a book that changed your life that you'd like to share with us?
A book that changed my life. I don't really have a book that changed my life. I'd be lying if I said I had a book that changed my life. I don't, because our lives are changing every day, aren't they?
Yeah.
Every day we're changing our lives ourselves, really. And I think life is like one big open book, especially my life. It's just like it's changing every day.
You're to me the perfect guest for this show, because this is exactly what I wanted to happen, is for somebody to come in and go, no, I don't have a childhood book. Did you see my childhood? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know, I was in eating toast. Like, how was yours, little Lord Fauntleroy?
I was getting rolled out of school every day. There's barreler Harrington's on the loose.
Here she goes, roll out the barreler. And equally, like I say, it's called a bookshelf, but like some bookshelves are empty. And
no, I've my bookshelf at home.
No, it's empty. It's empty. It's just
full.
Got medals and trophies.
Mandy has books everywhere in the house. Oh,
so you married a bookworm.
I married a bookworm. Like
hilarious.
I just like now. I'd say to her, "Would you read that book out loud?" Do you know? Like, and she's like, "No, I'm not reading the book out loud." And I'm like, please, just read it out loud. Like, no, like she wouldn't read
Get
it
your
out
own
loud.
audiobook. Didn't marry an audiobook.
But and she's like, no, like. Just read it, and she keeps buying me books like all the time. Yeah. Books, get your books. 5 for the euro.
You see, we have to explain to people who don't know. Like in Dublin, people say book, and then if it's cookbook, it's a cookbook. And do you know what I mean? And if you want to look at the cookbook, you take a look at the cookbook.
And if it's a hook, it's a hook and a hook.
So you hang the cookbook on the hook to have a look. But what does that make? Saint Luke, Saint Luke. Yeah. So it's very confusing.
Look at him over there.
Yeah, look. Anyway.
But no, Mandy.
So what does Mandy like to read? Should have brought her in for a look.
She reads everything. Like, I'm telling you, absolutely everything. Like, it's.
So what do you do when she's reading and having a quiet time and you're a chatterbox?
Fall asleep. I just go to sleep. Like, people say, oh, reading helps you sleep. And I'm like, no, I just go to sleep. Like, I just literally, like, I hit the pillow.
Oh, yeah, that's a gift. You know that's a gift.
Like, I like, it's mad. Like, I just out cold. Now, I wake up about 6, like, I hear something, I'm like,
you're a feather sleeper. You can hear the feather falling.
Like, but to get asleep, I'm out like a light. Like,
what do you want to happen next in your life? What would you like to happen at home? You moved into a new house. Congratulations.
House. Thank you very much. I suppose, I don't know. Like, I'm just gonna go with the flow, and the next chapter, really, the next book.
Here we go. We'll come to that in a second. One of the times we've spoken a few times, you were cleaning in St. Vincent's. It's a hospital. Is this a hospital or?
It's a hospital. It's a psychiatric hospital.
And you sang with the patients, and you tortured them with your. No, actually, you couldn't sing. And for people who haven't seen it, look her up. Kellie on the Late Late Show, St. Patrick's Day special, singing, and John C. Reilly. Yeah. Agog beside you going, what is this? You sang Grace, if I'm not mistaken. And it was stunning. And we'd had a bit of a jive before that, which was good
we
crack.
still stay in contact as well.
John C?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. He's lovely, yeah.
He must have been thrilled when you won the medal, was he?
Yeah.
He gave you all the love. Oh, that's so nice to hear that. Yeah. So are you still singing and cleaning, or is that?
I'm still cleaning. The patients are now gone from the hospital, so they're trying to close the hospital down slowly. So someone has come in and they've done a swap. Like, we'll build you a hospital, you give us land, we're going to build apartments.
Okay.
all that kind of crack. The love for the job has gone because I'm not with the patients anymore. They've all been moved out into nursing homes now. I'm just cleaning on a corridor and cleaning receptions and toilets and all that stuff. And people are like, why do you still do it? Because that's what I know, and
Why do you answer people when they say, why do you do that now?
it gives me a sense of purpose, getting up out of bed on the weekends. I only work every second weekend, but I enjoy going in still, and I enjoy talking to the receptionist that's there and the security guard and the catering staff that are there. I enjoy seeing them because that's all that I see when I'm in there. There's no patients.
Okay.
Like, there is patients in the hospital in different parts, but on the ward that I worked on, there was 9. They're all gone, and I don't get the same enjoyment out of that. So I'm like, I don't know, like, we'll see what happens there as well. But I missed him, and I missed him terrible, like, and the Sister Angela, the nun in the hospital, she rings me on WhatsApp video.
Yeah.
She goes, like, she'd be around seeing them all the time, like going to the nursing homes, and they're all on and stuff, and it's great. Like, and I'm so happy for them because they're all so happy in the nursing homes. Yeah. They're like really, really happy, and that's all that you can want for them is them just to be happy. So I'm happy that they're happy.
Yeah, I hear you. There's some empathy. I love that. You've written an autobiography called Kellie, and I do ask a question: what's the name of the autobiography that you haven't written yet? Has that changed, or are you just going to stick with what you have?
Well, I haven't written yet. Well, yeah, there's no talks of another one, anyways. But if I was to do one, like I would have loved to call the first one The Scrapper. Yeah. Because the snapper, like.
Oh, that's great.
It's a bit like Roddy was like, nah, like you're like, it's like, I don't want you to, like. He
wanted something a bit more.
Yeah, from me, like, but I'm like, the scrapper is deadly.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah.
And he's like, but you're not a scrapper. You're a very technical boxer. And I'm like, well, that makes sense, Roddy. Yeah, okay. Like, so.
So the scrapper's still there, or is
it's
it?
Still, like, it could be still there, or I don't know, like The Last Round maybe, or something, because nice. that was it, like the last round, and talking about the 3 years from Tokyo to Paris and life after Paris. So we'll see. No, you never know what's around the corner.
I know. This is the thing. The Last Round has a sort of. Yeah. Has quite an Irish kind of twist to it too, doesn't it? Yeah. It's got that sense of, will we have one for the road, one for the dish.
That's it. Like,
the duck and theirs. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks very much for having me, Ryan. Honestly, really appreciate it.
You're just for people, off the air, behind the scenes, you're just you're a magnificent person. You're very kind, very supportive, very loyal. You're good. You're just somebody I rate, and I'm very lucky to have in my life. So thank you for being who you are. I really appreciate it.
And that's right back at you, Ryan. Right back at you.
So here's this week's Ryan Recommends, brought to you by Eason, Ireland's favourite bookseller. I think this book by Michael Harding gets nearly book title of the year. It's called I Loved Him from the Day He Died. And it's a book really about his father. Michael's father died when Michael was only about 23 years old. And not too long ago, he was on the Camino, where people go to reflect, don't they? And he was reflecting on his relationship with his dad. And of course, he's an Irishman. His dad was an Irish dad. And we all have stories about our dads who we love and sometimes have complicated relationship with. So he unpicks that in only the way Michael Harding can. Very accessible, philosophically fascinating, and existentially challenging. This is a great old book. And this book and all the books we discuss on this episode of our podcast are available now in your local Eason store, or order them online from easons.com before 6 p.m. for same-day dispatch with free delivery when you spend over a tenner. Eason, be inspired.